Hello, Newbells. This is Phreak with an audio commentary for WCR, and this will hopefully be a good dual perspective replay. Doesn't matter whose view you put it on, just turn Fog of War off, and I'll go over both points of view. Of course, if you're a Night Elf player, then, go ahead and watch from Night Elf. If you're human, go ahead and watch from human. Otherwise, just sort of chill out and just watch both sides the best you can. I'll be trying to pause and half speed and random crap as much as I can to make sure that I get as much info and all that fun stuff as possible in there and give you guys the best commentary and the most insight into human versus Night Elf that you can. This is a very, very close replay. It's rather long in any event. Get this to the 15-second mark at the 1x speed. Fog of War off, as I said, from either player's point of view. And while you're syncing up and getting there, I want to share with you guys a valuable bit of information. Now, while you're syncing up, you can go ahead and pause it right now, just so you can, look away from the screen for this, because it is very, very important. Now, go ahead and look down at your keyboard. Now, you see at the very bottom left-hand side, there should be a control key. It's like CTRL, something like that. Now, imagine you're in a game right now, right? And let's say you click on the Tree of Life or whatever, so go ahead and do that. Now, hold the control button down. Holy crap. Hold the control button down now, right? So you're holding it down, then press the number 0. This should be, up towards the top of your keyboard, you press the number 0, okay? Now, at any point in time during this game, you can press the number 0 and it will highlight, you'll actually have selected your Tree of Life. This works for town halls, for footmen, for grunts, really anything that you have control of. Even if it's a group of 12 units, or, your Ancient of War and a Tree of Life, or anything you want, but you can group them together. Now, be careful, because you cannot actually group up rooted ancients with ground ancients, or ground ancients with units, but, you can, hotkey groups of rooted ancients of war, or, a group of foemen with your hero. But wait, there's more. Now, this also works for the numbers 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So if you use any of these buttons, you hold control and you press it while you're highlighting some units, and I mean like highlighted like you've selected them already, not just holding your mouse over them. Anytime you press that number again, it will select those units, right back. Now, for instance, you can have the numbers 1, 2, and 3 be designated for parts of your army, such as your Mountain King and Footman will be on number 1. So you select your Footman, your Mountain King, hold control and press 1, and then from then on you can press 1 and select your Mountain King and Footman. You can do this with 2 for Riflemen and 3 for Casters, or anything you choose. So, I'm not sure how many of you knew that. In case you missed Mr. Cygnus's audio commentary, then there's that bit of information for you. Now, one last piece of information, just in case you're still syncing up. Now, notice the F keys. Now, if in case you're blind, these are above the numbers on your keyboard. Now, if you press F1, it will select your first hero. If you press F2, it will select your second hero. And if you press F3, it actually does nothing. Just kidding. No, it selects your third hero. Now, just to double check, remember, the F1 is above the 1 key, the F2 is above the 2 key, and the F3 is above the 3 key. So in case you're blind or have never touched the Warcraft manual, there's some more micro information for you guys. Now, additionally, it might be smart to surround units. For doing this, you would move your army so it's roughly around the unit, and then use the move command and click the unit a few times. Your army groups up and then surrounds it. Then, instead of dancing around and losing the game, you press attack and click on that hero or unit, then kill it, then continue playing the rest of the game. Okay, now that I've gone over some valuable micro advice, let's go ahead and unpause this replay, and I'll guide you through it. Very, very skilled players here, and let's just go ahead and watch it. So let's unpause in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, unpause. So we have the standard build order, right? This is from the 15-second mark right now. We're at 20. We have the Alter Moonwell build for the China player, whatever the heck you say that as. I'm just going to call him Night Elf, whatever. He's yellow. And what you're going to do with that is you pretty much get your hero as fast as possible. This allows you to harass, and the two main things to do with harassment are to, 1, kill units, which gains you EXP and makes them spend more money and lowers their creeping power / resource / whatever. But killing units is goal number 1. Goal number 2 is to keep them from creeping. Now, since you're only going to have your hero with this build, you're obviously not going to be able to creep as fast as someone with water elementals and footmen and militia. So from the Night Elf perspective, with your DH harassment, you want to 1, keep his Archmage from being able to summon lots of water elementals, which will slow his creeping down, which is, in the form of mana burn. And, 2, you want to actually try to steal some creep kills, which, shifts EXP in your favor and money as well. Or, even steal the items and whatnot. or you just want to, kill his workers so that he has to go home instead of creeping just to defend his army. That's why a lot of humans will actually, get themselves a tower up, because otherwise they're going to have to defend with their army, which would, require effort, and it would lower their creeping ability. So you're going to see this DH coming out. Now the DH is probably the main hero that Netlif uses against human. The main reason is because of the Mountain King. He is also very durable against unit focus fire. Now, as you'll probably see in this game, that there's going to be a lot of focus firing and a lot of storm bolting that are going to be happening. Now with the DH being purely melee, all of the spells are extremely short range except for meta, and that's an ultimate, which doesn't really count as a sort of a normal spell. What you're going to be doing with the DH is, he's going to be in the front line if he wants to make use of any of his abilities, and evasion helps that a lot because that way he won't be taking as much damage. That's pretty obvious, but there you go. So right now, you see that he's hiring Mercenary, which will allow his DH to be able to harass for longer, as it will be able to be constantly healed, and essentially, won't die as fast. It's pretty obvious, but then again, those of you who learned how to hotkey buildings from the Cygnus commentary, this is for you guys. Sorry, it's just too easy to make a joke about that. It's just so obvious. Alright. Anyway, so now the human player realizes that it's going to be the standard DH harass with a merc, and he's going to circumvent that and actually assume that his opponent's going to be teching. As you can see, he is. However, he's got the Agent of War down as a safety because, as you noticed, the Archmage is doing the smart thing and harassing those wisps and making them run all the way around to hopefully not die. Now he sees that his wisps are getting focused, tries to run that one back to detonate, and does miss it. That's just, which is unfortunate for him. But, whatever. Do what you can. Be a noob if it's necessary, but whatever. So his wisp's taking more damage, but he runs back into the creeps, which makes his wisp pretty safe. However, the footman decides to go kill it, and does. So far, a pretty effective harassment for the human player. He's knocked out 2 wisps, and though he's lost his mana from mana burn, he's still in decent shape. Yes, the DH killed a scouting peasant and a water mantle, but still, all those 7 wisps had to get off of wood, which is going to hurt the guy's lore tech and Faust Naga pretty badly, as well as there's a total of 2 that are dead that aren't going to be mining resources ever again. Now, from the human perspective, is to continue to harass and try to knock out as much wood as possible, and try to get some extra wisps if you can. But seeing as his Archmage is a little low and the DH is still in full force, and there are some archers out now, he decided to not risk it and just to run home because there is quite a bit of focus fire going off with 17 average damage from archers and 20 from the Shadow Priest, as well as 30 something from the Demon Hunter. So he decides to exercise the better part of valor and run like a little chicken. Now, he is trying to circumvent the army, though, and get some more harassment done. So the Nettle's like, wait, I don't want any piece of that, and he turns around, runs to his base with his piercers, and says, well, maybe he's trying to trick me, and turns around and sees, oh look, there's the Archmage, and mana burns that, and goes away. So we have a little bit of a slow point right here, so let's bring this up to 2x speed. Let's go to 2x speed in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, plus. So we're at 4 minutes and 40 seconds at 2x speed, and so the the Nettle player is sort of camping out a little bit, making sure he isn't harassed anymore. He could creep, but really he's going to wait for that little archer upgrade, as you can see, and putting down his lore tech safely, as well as grabbing a Naga Sea Witch. However, right now he's like, I get pushed this fool with mercs and with my archers, so I'm just going to pick up a Naga with a wisp and go try to attack stuff. So I'm switching to the Nettle player right now, just offhand, and here we go with the mass ranged army. And again, he's only facing footmen, and though he's got defend, they move extremely slowly, and there's also the heroes for some actual decent damage, so he's still doing pretty well so far. He also pushes the Archmage back a little bit, which is pretty easy, and there's the easy to kill towers. Let's go ahead and slow this back down to 1x speed in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, slow down. So we're at 16:18 right now. I'm sorry for not really realizing that earlier. But as you can see, there's that Mountain King with the initial Stormbolt, which the DH will have to burn some time, but realizing that he would be boltable and focused, he's going to run away, as he doesn't have evasion and, doesn't want to risk it. Because Moonjuice is fairly hard to come by at certain points in the time, especially like when Night's about to finish, or it won't regenerate anymore. You want to keep as many hit points as possible. Now, one aspect of Moonjuice that you should know. 1 point of Moonjuice will heal 2 hit points. 2 points of Moonjuice will heal 1 mana. So by... oh crap. Lucky Demon Hunter, 3 hit points, retard. And I believe when your hero is also low on mana and hit points, the Moonwell will simply use equal amounts of mana or equal amounts of Moon Juice to heal up however much as it can. So if the Moonwell has 200 Moonwell Juice, whatever in it, it will heal 100 each, which means 200 HP and 50 mana. Whereas if you had just not burnt any mana, you would have healed 400 HP on that Moonwell, and obviously no mana if he's full. So by having the DH constantly use more Moonwells and take more damage from that MK, he risked really burning through his Moonwells. As you can see, he's already out. He only has one that can heal a total of 300 hit points, which isn't a whole lot. Now, the human player is trying to do is really to stay safe, not harassing or anything, until he can group up some casters, more rifles, and really just something that can beat Naga DH and archers in a fight. And especially with that Zerg who deals like 30 damage, he needs something that can really stand up to it. Now you can see the lucky drops from the Demon Hunter. Gives his Naga to level 2. DH gets close to level 3. He should pull the Naga back right here, but doesn't. It would have brought him a lot closer to leveling up. And he wouldn't have quite gotten it, but it would have been closer, which is always useful. But anyway, you can see that the Troll Shadow Priest is very vital for 9 in saving Moonwell Juice. As you're going to see, he's actually probably going to use some Moonwells on his DH, burning even more mana out of the way. So right now, if really the human were to harass him, and use bolts and a whole bunch of damage spells, and just really push through him, he could do a lot of damage because he has no more Moon Juice, and Nightfall's rather far away. And so he's finally putting up the Ancients of Lore. He takes a very long time actually just using mercs, which is an interesting sort of aspect. Is because normally humans will realize that, well, they can't do a whole lot when you've got all those piercing, because they rape towers. Now, one of the things I've noticed, some human players saying from high levels, is that the way you beat tech builds is you rush them at tier 2, because that's when they're not even having Dryades out yet, and yes, they'll have a Naga, but you're going to have a lot of footmen, and you're going to have your Naga out, or you're going to have your MK out as well, and you're going to probably have some rifles and some casters. You hit them right when they hit tier 2, and they'll be building their Ancients of Lore, and they won't actually have any decent units. As you can see, the Nidos players' approach to this game is really to have, those 3 archers that he hasn't, made any more than all game, just made the 3. What he's really trying to do is to keep a generic army and wait to see what his opponent's really getting. Now, of course, he's going to go lore tech anyway because he's Night Elf versus human, but he's sort of just testing out his army, seeing what kind of units he's making. If he tries anything rash, like suddenly rushing to mass rifles and, getting nothing else, then he can sort of make more archers, make more piercers, get the Ogre Mauler and, push him. Or, if he's seeing, quickly Spellbreakers and, only Spellbreakers, well, then he can go Huntresses if he really wants, or, get more Ogre Maulers and, push him that way. Push him that way. I sound like a Harasaboshi there. Push him that way and, deal more damage. And, make his opponent counter him again, and then pull out something completely different and continue to make the counter to the counter and screw up the human player. But as you can see, Swain is just getting the standard mix of, footmen, riflemen, and spellbreakers, realizing that there are going to be bears. Every Night Elf will go bears eventually. Some people faster than others. This one's a pretty slow one. Some people will go huntresses for a while and then get them later. It all just depends on the player. As you can see, he's actually saved 3 Troll Berserkers, and guess what? He has no Moon Juice. But lucky him, he gets claws out just in time, and we'll heal those guys up. Very fortunate for him. So as you can see, I guess this guy just has his build order down so well that by the time he's out of Moon Juice, he's got bears. And he's just, plowing through, continually having healing whenever he needs it, which is a very well-oiled strat. Now, I can't recommend this for everyone, because not everyone's like a freaking level 50 player with 300 APM, but, you can define your build orders, and you can, break from the mold a little bit. As you can see, this guy's not doing the standard tech, with only mercs, and, rushing straight for Dryads and then bears, and, doing the unit pickoff route. Instead, this guy's going for, making sure his army's what he needs it to be, and then advancing on to bears and trying to harass a little bit of expansions, but not really going for the creepjack pickoff unit route. Now that he has bears, though, it's time to actually initiate a fight. So he was going to actually go after the guy's main, I would assume, but sees him creeping, which is pretty lucky, and comes after him. However, you can see that he's not able to do a whole lot with slow on effect, so he just forces the human player to run home, and he's probably just going to go kill some creeps. As, they're standing out there, and they're slowed thanks to the spells human, He's just going to, knock these out. Now, let's go ahead and pause this, and I'll speculate on a bit of unit choice. Let's pause in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. I am at 12:07. So if you're missing that part, or missing that point, just estimate, how much farther you have to go in front, or how much farther you're in front, and then you can keep it paused while I unpause and do all that random stuff. So anyway, the unit choice right now, or, the tactic choice and all that. Now, the human player, he realized that he had an early advantage, because against only archers and piercing mercs, he was okay with defended footies, and militia, and eventually riflemen. So he had a little bit of an edge right there. So he was, relying on that and just, staying safe. And he was really just making sure that he knew, that he had the unit advantage. So what he did with that is he crept an expansion and put it up as far away from his opponent's main as possible, which does two things. One, it's kind of harder to find because you have to, get all the way across the map to get to it. Which will allow it to get up faster and get up without being noticed. And maybe stay up without being noticed at all, And two, it keeps him from being creep jacked a little bit, with the across the map aspect. And there is another point in this, I'm forgetting what it is. Oh my god. When it is actually up and it is found, it'll take a long time for the Night Elf to actually, he'll have to commit to it and have to go across the map. Due to the fact that he's using bears and archers, his army's not really that quick. And so, that gives about a one creep camp advantage to the human player, but the fact that the Night Elf has to run across the map, which will take half a minute or however long, while the human player gets to, get that gold, in effect, as well as creep another camp, get his here a little bit higher, and then, go pick a fight after he's actually reached the expansion. And then, meanwhile, if he wants to run home, good luck getting home without getting picked off a little bit by Bolt and Slow, because, it's a long walk. And as for that's the human tactic right there, is seeing the early advantage and capitalizing on it, which is probably a very effective choice. His other effective choice was, instead of getting harassed by the DH all game, losing his men and not being able to creep, he instead took the fight to his opponent's base, realizing that there would probably not be any units there, and managed to kill 2 wisps and lose some wood for him. As you can see, he got his Ancient of the Lores pretty late. So anyway, we're gonna look at the Night Elf point of view. The Night Elf so far was doing a very safe build, where he teched and built an Ancient of War. Now I don't think he even scouted before he put the AOW down, but he put it down realizing that he could be towered, his opponent could take the mercs from him, which is what smart humans will do if they're towering. They'll take the mercs so the Night Elf can't use it, which is pretty much free win. They'll take the mercs, they'll tower, and then they'll win the game, because there's not a whole lot that the guy can do if, all the stuff's taken, and, there's no army for him. You can't win with just a DA. It's pretty hard, / impossible. So he did a safe build of taking them, putting the AOW down, which will be ready for any kind of a tower attempt. As you saw, he was able to start producing an archer as soon as he saw his opponent's army, which means that if he was actually going to come with some militia, he'd have an archer out and be able to kill those towers very, very easily. Just get rid of them, and then advance on to, keeping that army as a steady creeping force / harassing force if you needed it, and then move on to bears when he hits, gets the Naga and the Ancient of the Lore and Tier 3 and whatnot. But he's really just a, you can't tower me build, while he eventually gets up to the bears. So pretty safe build for him right there, and tactics so far were keeping his wisps alive. I would actually recommend for Night Elf players actually spreading your wisps out a lot around the map. Now that does lend to being occasionally killed by passing forces, but it also allows use some scouting, and if you are going to be harassing your main, it'll allow your units to be very safe. Now, one of the goals, or I guess some of the things that'll happen with keeping your guys in the base, the pros, is that if you need to turbo repair, they're right there. If you need to macro some more buildings, they're right there. And if you need to expand, you always know where they are, and if you need detonates, you always know where they are, instead of having to fish around the map looking for the white dot and having them possibly be killed. They're also in a consolidated position, so if your opponent doesn't find him, he will just never kill them. Whereas if they're spread out, if he finds one cache, well, there's the other 10 around the map somewhere else, you can't find them. So there's a bit of pro and cons. I like to spread them out because of the scouting advantage, but that can hurt your macro if you're not watching. So let's go ahead and unpause this again, and we'll continue on with the game. Let's unpause. We're at 12:07 in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Unpause. So with the creeping done and his units in good shape, he's going to try to jack his opponent a little bit. And he's coming in, Nugget in front like a retard, but he realizes that he has bears and the guy only has, just a few spellbreakers. And he's going to go for it. However, his Nugget is getting slapped like a little woman. Luckily, she gets the potion, uses it, and doesn't get owned. So as you can see, one footman goes down, spellbreaker is about to eat it. However, the DH is about to die. He does a very bad choice in letting it tank, and, gets the heck out of there. However, as you can see, Swain just lost 10 foot of an army, and the Chinese player really didn't lose anything. He lost, I guess you can say, 500 gold worth of items, and that's true. The human player lost at least one breaker, at least one rifle, at least one footman. Now you add those up, that's more than 500 gold. In fact, I'm going to do this math craft for you. That's actually 555. Yeah. So, a gold advantage, Night Elf. Oh, and he also killed something else. I'm not sure there's a fourth corpse in the ground, though. So, gold advantage, Night Elf. EXP advantage, Night Elf. Good, yes, okay. So, what he did is, he just got an advantage because he has bears, and his opponent didn't have a huge, overwhelming counter yet because he still has footmen. Footmen suck. They just really do. Pretty much once your opponent gets to bears, send them into creeps and let them tank for you instead of wasting a water elemental. Just do it. It's really going to be more cost effective overall. It'll get you out of upkeep. It'll help you kill the creeps faster. Just go ahead and take a red creep and, just knock them out like that. It's the best thing you can do, really. I'm not even kidding. They're just EXP, as you saw. Now, however, he gets the Ring of Protection +4. Now, I would personally get it on the MK because he's going to be the focus fire machine. And as you can see, he does. So, now he has a Scroll of Healing and a Potion of Healing on each hero, as well as a form of invulnerability, TP/potion. And he's getting the items correctly on his Mountain King. The armor, which I've always stressed, and the strength, which I've always stressed. He gets the Tome of Intelligence, which, I can't always agree with, but, there you go. I guess it makes him a little bit more resilient against mana burn, but really, I like to always get matching tomes in the heroes. Always get a Tome of Strength on a Strength hero, always get Agility on an Agility hero, always get Intel on an Intel hero. The one extra damage, it adds up. It really does. I mean, it's not a lot. It's 1 damage. Well, it does add up. Especially when you've got something like a Blade Master, where, they have tons of damage. As you can see, the DH is a great choice, and it's made the MK useless. So he's going to come in with his roared army. And as you can see, now he's pulled in Dryads. Now, he didn't go Dryads right away because he saw that his opponent had Defend. And he wanted something that would kill Footmen really easily. He puts in the Dryads once he has an actual overwhelming army so that he can pick off stuff. That's what Dryads are for. They're decent damage, but their main thing is they pick off stuff. So he's going for that effect, and has enough of them that he can pretty much chain slow what he wants. And also, they abolish water elementals, which is a big deal. And so right here is where the human will pretty much have to switch up his forces. It's the same thing against Orc, by the way, when they get Shaman. Is you want to switch up your forces. And here's a great TP right on top of a lot of units. However, there is, as you can see on the right-hand side, this bear flank. Let's pause it, and I'll describe the battle. Pause in 3, 2, 1, pause. I'm at 1529, almost 1530. Now, human, of course, realizes that he needs to keep his expo alive, and so he's going to TP and risk, winning the battle. He sees that he has, healing scrolls and some pretty good items, so he's going to go for it. He's like, I'm in pretty good shape. So he gets a pretty good TP. And the Night Elf player's like, I could take this fool, I have bears. And we're going to see how it works out, I don't know, specifics of how they're going to micro, but let's see how it goes. So let's unpause again. Kind of a wasted pause, whatever. Let's unpause in 3, 2, 1, unpause. So we have the battle going on, and it's just like focus fire and healing scroll usage, and you can check out the hit points. He was about to use another healing scroll if he were smart, and lost a rifle, unfortunately. But now he's got the battle lines formed, and as you can see, he knocked out a lot of units. He leveled up his Archmage. He's got 2 level 4s, which is a big deal. And I believe he killed the Naga Sea Witch. What? I don't see a Naga Sea Witch around here. Let's switch and find out. Yep, there is no Naga Sea Witch, and there is almost no Demon Hunter. Luckily for him, the Mountain King does not have a mana potion, so he's getting focused, and he has to TP out. He probably has the better army, but with Bolt and Slow and Breakers, he can kill heroes. As you can see, the DH is almost level 5. The Naga Sea Witch is level 3. I don't know how close to 4 she is. But he does have a bit of a hero advantage. You see the Archmage and MK are just barely level 4. while the DH is very close to level 5. So, the hero advantage is still tipping in the favor of the 9-elf player. Now that the battle's over, he has the chance to macro and make some wisps at his expo, which he doesn't seem to be doing. But, that's always there. And he's just going to continue to make more units. Another player expands to keep macro, of course. You want to be able to keep pace, because if you do get outnumbered a lot, Saboshi right there, you will get outnumbered. So you want to make sure that you're in good shape in terms of unit numbers, because yes, not heroes are good, but when you're slowed and bolted, you can lose stuff pretty easily. So right here he creeps just to get him to level 5 before the next fight. Then he runs back knowing that he's not going to get any EXP bonuses, so save it for the Naga, because his Naga is probably close to level 4, and he wants that level up pretty badly. So the Naga Sewage is about to come out. Here we go. Naga Sewage comes out, and as I said, she's close to level 4. Now let's look at the human heroes. 4.4 Archmage, 4.3 MK. Sees a little odd creep camp with one of the creeps gone. And that also comes the Creepjack. So, very lucky by him. And here we go with the Creepjack and instant TP, realizing that he's going to lose some rifles. Now, if you can actually kill the rifleman, no, he can't. Good game. See, that's why you want to TP as soon as possible, because otherwise, you're going to lose units. And he's going to lose a unit anyway. Go slow poison. And that dies. Poof. Whoop, there it is. Whoop, there it is. Alright, so anyway. What is happening now? What's in their mindsets specifically? Well, you should transfer off that 6 intel over to the Naga if he had a brain, and he does. Look at the Naga, plus 12 intel. She has more mana than hit points. Yeah, that's not going to be a powerful hero or anything, but sells one of them to pick up items, which is probably smart, but gets a TP, which is very, very important. Gets a healing scroll and an invulnerability potion. Now you should get the TP off of the DH, so that the DH isn't just like kill bait. But by the fact that he's level 5, he may have level 3 evasion, which is going to be freaking impossible to kill. And he has 7 armor, which is also impossible to kill. And a pretty good chunk of hit points. So, MK with evasion is pretty nice. Not a huge deal, but it does help. And then we still have the Ogre Mauler. As actually a pretty good unit. Its stats are pretty similar to Bears. I mean, hit points are 100 off. Minimum damage is about the same. Max damage is 17 off. I mean, it's still pretty close though. I mean, overall, they don't die to breakers. Now he's gonna go for the expo, and he sees that there's 4 towers. Never mind. I'm not gonna try that because if he TP's in, I'm gonna lose. So he's just chilling out, realizing that the expo is pretty safe. That he's gonna have to just wait for it. Rejuves the injured unit, which is probably smart because he's got pretty much full mana as it is. You could put that claw back to normal form, to bear form, and just chill out. But now we're gonna have a battle going off. You see the spell seal is going off, getting some roar onto Rifleman, which is a big deal. As you can see, they have plus 7 damage. But he's like, you know what? Screw you, let's go. And as you can see, the autocast abolish gets rid of that roar as soon as it goes on. So sort of like spell trading. And as you can see, there's the insane focus fire of the bears, just like ripping through stuff. Now what Swain is doing is focuses firing the bears as fast as he can, killing the caster ones, especially because they don't have armor or hit points, and they cast spells, which is a big deal. You can see the non-affairs leveling up, and the Archmage says, I have to TP because I'm getting owned. The MK is in bad shape, and gets out with the chain slow of the Naga and of the Dryads. He does not want to get his MK killed because that's going to signal pretty much GG right there. So now it's on. He should abolish that water metal, and does, kills a little bit quicker. Free experience, he really should retrain to Blizzard. That would help him a lot. Mainly because it will help him knock out the bears a little bit, since obviously water metals aren't doing anything for him. It's worth the 300 gold. You won't give him free experience. Now that does open him for, channeling, which is killable by, the bears and focus fire and whatnot. But, and it does, lend the ability of him just to, move out of it. But considering that your front line is magic immune, I think it's going to be a good effect for you, Like, that should be pretty useful. As you can see, level 3 water metal, still free experience. You can see the DH is getting kind of owned. He has to try to kill the shop to get himself out a little bit quicker. Yeah, Demon Hunter gets owned like a retard. Don't know what he was doing there, but okay. So, like a noob, he gets owned. Good job, buddy. But, you know, he has Dryads with no mana anymore. Finally. You know, he's not going to look at Water Metal for once. And there's some militia trying to block off that Ogre Mauler. Still can't surround it, and realizing that he's getting owned, should probably turn around and just back off. And so that's what he does. Level 5 Archmage. Finally, you have some Water Metals that are actually being decent now. But the bears are still ripping through stuff. See, Abolish goes off, almost goes to WE. Used 2 Abolishes so far, or 3, I think. But he summons another Water Metal, and now he's just like overriding the Dryads. So the Chinese player still only had 400 gold, then he just spent it all by reviving his Demon Hunter. But he's just like pumping out claws and getting level 5 Naga, so he's really got the hero advantage because he's got 5 and 5 versus 5 and 4. Sorry, just kidding, 6 and 4. The Archmage is leveled up. Okay. So when you add the hero numbers together, I guess they're equal. But considering that the level 5 MK is infinitely better than level 4 MK, you know, that's something that the Nano player really doesn't want him to have. So, you know, he's regrouping, rejuvenating up, saving the Moon Juice, which is always smart. Now, he could get Wellspring, but he's a noob, so he's not, you know, whatever. Now, he should get Mark of the Talon as well, or Mark of the Claw, because that way he can roar in battle, which I don't think he has yet. I'm not sure, but I don't think so. And what that will do is it'll make his Spellbreakers cast that Spell Steal thing, you know? For 100 mana on a bear, which, you know, you're not going to be burning through anytime soon due to the fact that they're just going to be a meat wall and not spamming spells that much, you know? For just 100 mana on an AoE spell, he has to spend 75 on each one, as well as, you know, chilling that animation for each one. You know, for each bear, and each hero, and each merc, you know, and if you can continually cast that, you know, eventually they're not going to be able to spell steal, and there's not going to be anything to spell steal onto anyway. Now, of course, giving the rifle 7 extra damage does hurt, but if you can bring wisps in there, or use some Dryad Abolish, or anything, then you will be in pretty good shape. As a word of warning, I'm at 23 minutes and 50 seconds. And now we see Netoff's expanding again, because he wants to make sure that he has that sort of, you know, the out-macroing ability. By losing his Demon Hunter, you know, he lost quite a bit there. You think that his opponent had a bit of an advantage with, you know, Mass Teleport and whatnot, and being able to sort of, you know, spam against Expos. He wanted to be able to make sure he had another one, that in case he lost one, he's still got a backup. And you can see the Shredder gives him some room to get out to his expansion. And he sees that, you know, he doesn't want to get owned by casters right now. He wants to make sure that, you know, he can get there. And pretty much the human player sees that his opponent just wasted some detonates, so his army's probably nearby. However, the Archmage says, whatever, let's just kill the Expo, and I can mass DP out if I want to. So, you know, he abolishes the slow, casts Roar, so he does have Mark of the Claw now, and here we go. Gonna focus the WE. Swin's using the WE as a tank, just, you know, because it's not that easy to kill when it's not under hit points. So he runs back, uses the potion, which I can't agree with, really, because he would have been okay. But he's fighting with 2 bears and a hero. Good job, buddy. So he runs his DH as far away from the MK as possible. Uses Meta so he doesn't get owned. A very smart choice. So now he has level 6 DH to match level 6 Archmage. And just gets the heck out of there. Mana burns the Mountain King to make sure he won't get owned again. Staff of Preservation to make sure the DH doesn't take more than he has to. And here we go again. Uses Roar, and you can see that the MK is very blessed to have that 6 armor there, because he would have died otherwise. Fast TP, and he only lives because of that potion and the armor. He would have died. As you can see, putting armor on melee heroes is a smart choice. So, do it. Also, Mass Teleport has a shorter tailing time than TP, so if you're trying to save your hero, use that. That means that is secondary hero. If you're trying to save your main hero, of course use a TP, so he's invincible, and whatnot. You know, not stunnable, and etc. So we still have the DH and the Naga. They're very, very high level heroes, which means he can kill anything that's not magic immune in about 3 seconds. You know, he's forked, wait 2 seconds, or 8 or whatever, use forked again, and then it dies. And you can see he has a Wisp at expansions, which is a very smart choice. And every time you Night Elf, put a Wisp at every likely expansion, because he's gonna be expanding eventually. So make sure that you know that they're there, so that you can kill them when you can. Because seeing that he just forced a Mass Teleport out, mainly because of the MK, but, you know, he still did it. He's like, I have a bit of an advantage, let's go. Now, I can't say I agree with that, because he really didn't win that fight. he just lost an expansion. Unless he's putting it back up now, it's not a good choice to really initiate a new fight. As you can see, level 3 bolt kills archers very quickly. But the MK is getting slowed again. Abolish goes off, and the MK is, again, screwed. So good job, buddy. Uses the potion of healing, and mass teleports out before he dies again. As you can see, he killed an archer and a bear, while losing like a water metal and using some potions. EXP advantage goes to Swain, gold advantage goes to Swain. However, by forcing the TP, he's now going to kill this expansion, which is pretty much what he was trying to do, at least as far as I know. Despite having the 6 armor, he still finds the MK pretty easy to kill with, these, 40 to 60 damage bears and slowing dryads with poisons, slowing Naga and the mana burn, and, the crazy, huge damage DH. He's figuring that, he can force teleports out by simply focusing the MK. And by doing that, by forcing the TP out, he then has free reign over whatever he was doing. And so he forced the TP out away from his main, forced the TP out away from his own expansion to kill it. And as we see, again, he's going to focus on this MK. MK uses a scroll of healing with a mass TP, and again, it lives. So all he's doing is forcing his opponent to just mass TP and use some kind of healing on him every time, which does give him a bit of a gold edge, unless his opponent can just kill a bear every time or kill a dryad every time, which he's not being able to do just yet. But the MK is getting healed up. He should use a scroll of regeneration or whatever to bring some more hit points in, because the MK is far from full health. But he's like, whatever, I'm just use a clarity and say screw it. Can't say I agree with that. I'd use 100 gold just to get your MK back in fighting shape sooner. But whatever, he's gonna wait and do nothing. Good job. Now, if I were him, I'd actually get tier 3 and get a paladin, and keep him back, right? Like, you could even get devotion first just for the effect of not having him die. But really, I'd get a paladin just so that he doesn't have to mass TP so early every battle. It'll give him a little bit of a chance to actually knock out a bear every time he has to mass TP. Because mass TP is free. You can't count that as any kind of a cost. Because he's got brilliance and it costs 100 mana on an anti-hero. Big deal. However, every time the MK gets focused, he's using some kind of healing item before he mass TPs out. Every time he used a healing potion or a healing scroll or something, which could take its toll due to the fact that he just lost an expo. Now he's being smart and, killing this expo right here. Now, if he were smart, he'd just mass TP out and say, screw it, you wasted a TP. Instead, he's going to have another fight, and he's going to let his MK tank yet again. However, the Nautilus sees good positioning, with the MK really not that durable. Again, takes a mana burn and a forked lightning, loses half his hit points instantly. As you can see, he's getting focused by bears, and he's dying at a decent rate. He's at about 1/3 hit points. As you see, fork goes off, and he's going to eat it, but takes a TP and lives. So every time, he's able to kill that MK very, very quickly. And though we lost the bear right there, they traded TPs. You can't count that as a, gold advantage either way. But what he did, though, is he killed pretty much more units than the Nautilus did, I think. I'm pretty sure he killed more units that way. I can't say for certain, but that's what I think. And besides that, he just put his expansion back up by uprooting his tree and expanding to the top. So now he's got the gold advantage because he's got 2 mines versus 1, and the 1 is about to run out because he expanded much faster. He definitely needed to TP to keep that expansion alive because if he hadn't, the human player would know that he could walk right over him and move on, kill the next expansion, and he's going to have to fight sooner or later or he's not going to have any gold. So the Nautilus player realizes that he's going to have to say, okay, look, go away, biatch. And realizing that he could pretty much knock out the MK every time they fought, he just went for it and did it again, and again, and again, and again, and again. Just completely knocking the fool out. So, now the human player is getting his healing scrolls, so that he's resilient against forked lightning and meta, and whatever else he's using. If he's not focus firing, then healing scrolls are useful. Healing scrolls, of course, are not useful versus mass fiends. If all they do is focus fire with the fiends, you're going to heal 1 unit for 150 gold, which is not worth it. And now we see the ghostiness that is mass teleport, invising a rifleman to go knock out something else. Now check this out. The Nautilus player has a Dark Ranger. Good game, or... So he finally TP's out there. And then the human player realizing that he's getting mass slowed, he's getting screwed. So guess what? Silence, biatch, owned, or... So now he's getting a bit of a free kill. A bit of, some free kills. Now, here comes the MK with his invulnerability potion, and the guy is saying, hey, you know what? I killed your MK, or I killed your DH, biatch. So that's a good advantage for him, because he just knocked out the guy's freaking Demon Hunter. However, the Dark Ranger does not have mana for any more silencing, so if he would mass TP, he'd get out. However, because it, has a much longer cooldown now, he's just losing his entire freaking army, and getting slowed by the tornado effect and all that fun stuff. So, however, there's a level 6 Mountain King, which is a big deal, and the Mountain King should be living pretty well. And with, see if I can catch what level clap it is. Darn, I just missed it. But he mass TP's out, and he gets safe this time. And now, once he regenerates the mana and whatnot, he can come over and knock out the next base with mass TP, as you can see. There's the Invis Rifle right next to the altar. Yeah, who wants to kill the DH? Which is really what you're going to love doing once you get yourself, mass teleport. Just rape the hell out of their altar and crap. And so the Chinese player's like, oh god, go away, I hate you for life, Jesus Christ. And it's going to be a free altar kill. So who's going to win this game? You've got a level 6 hero and a level 1 hero versus level 7 and level 1. Or, sorry, level 7 and level 6. However, the MK is still in bad shape. And if he can kill the man off the Archmage so that he can't mass TP, that's always useful. But here we go, mass TP goes off. Silence, biatch. And now the MK is screwed. Yeah, alright, so he's knocked out the MK. And now he's got a big flank on his opponent's army. He's got both sides covered. And GG's is Swain, and down it goes. 33-minute game. It's fun that the replay ended at 33 flat, and elapsed time is 32:59. Random, huh? Okay, so you can look through the score and whatnot, I don't care. But as you can see, it was a very close game, lots of battles, lots of fun stuff, and silence at the end. Really what you're going to try to do on both sides of this battle is to have the economy advantage. It helps a lot. When you have the econ advantage, you can, fight a lot more battles, and it just works better for you, because you can fight more careless battles, and overall, it lets you burn through healing items, and burn through TPs, and do the harassing game of, hit their expo, then TP out, hit their expo and TP out, hit their expo and TP out, hit their expo and TP out, and you just keep doing that, and it'll do a lot for you, because your opponent's not going to be able to creep, and if you get the unit advantage every time, if you get, the kill advantage, you killed a bear, he killed nothing, or, you killed a rifleman, he killed nothing, then you can keep doing that, and since you have an extra expansion, one more than him, you can go ahead and burn the TPs, and you're going to gain EXP above him, and you're going to gain gold above him, and you can just continually outmass him, get more breakers, or get more bears, or whatever you're going to do. And then when it's time for the climactic battle, you'll be ready, because you're going to have a much, much higher army. It'll also allow you to sort of hide a chim tech, or hide anything like that, because you can spend the extra money on whatever, just keep pace with your initial army, and spend the other, 1,000 gold, whatever that you're getting, on a couple of Chime Roosts, or a couple of Griffin Aviaries, or whatever you're going to do. This will be the end of the commentary. Diabas is a noob. I was going to go over that a little bit better, but, I went over what the game has said, so, bye guys.